As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That ancient line was never meant as poetry. It was a warning about your inner reality shaping everything. You don't get what you want because you chase it. You get what you want because you stop chasing and start aligning with it. Look at your life. Endless scrolling, second-guessing, pretending, strength, waiting for validation. How much time have you already wasted begging for respect instead of commanding it? He stared at her typing bubble for 5 minutes straight. When it vanished, he didn't lose her. He lost himself, entirely, immediately, completely. That's the trap. You believe desire means pursuit. It doesn't. Desire means recognition. You saw it because it already belonged to you, silently waiting. What if your desire is already yours, and the real test is whether you can sit still long enough to actually let it arrive? Every time you chase, you confirm lack. Every time you pause, you confirm power. Which one are you rehearsing more often in silence? Men collapse by sprinting after shadows. The man who stands still becomes undeniable. Motion confuses. Stillness clarifies. Which one looks like control in her eyes? She didn't ignore you. She revealed her priorities. He didn't leave you. He showed his ceiling. Reality didn't punish you. It educated you brutally. Stop needing instant replies. Stop demanding constant reassurance. If she texts, good. If she doesn't, better. Your peace isn't on trial. Her consistency is. You crave respect. Then stop trying to earn it from those who've already disqualified themselves. If he disrespects you, you withdraw. Never bargain for value. Notice this. The more desperate you act, the more invisible you become. The calmer you grow, the louder your presence speaks. Which do you want? Every second you waste doubting yourself, someone else sets their standard. Desire isn't proof you lack. It's proof you already carry what others chase. The hardest lesson you'll ever face is this. Chasing keeps you hungry, stillness feeds you full. Which man do you want to be remembered as? Stop thinking your desire is a signal to run. Start realizing it's proof you've been chosen. The test is your discipline, not your hustle. Men who understand this don't collapse at silence. They expand in it. They don't panic at withdrawal. They practice patience until others cannot forget them. So here's the ruthless truth. What you want is already yours. The question isn't whether it arrives. The question is whether you're still there. This isn't theory, it's law. If you're always chasing, you're always bleeding. If you stand still, you command orbit. The choice is yours. You came here for clarity, not comfort. I'll give you both. Ruthless clarity first. Comfort only after you've built standards that make comfort undeniable. No fluff, no excuses. Every line that follows will cut, reframe, and rearm you. Sit up, breathe deep, and prepare to become unrecognizable. What you desire isn't hiding from you. It's tethered. It's already in orbit. The mistake, you think pursuit secures it. Alignment actually does. You've been told to grind harder, chase louder, prove yourself endlessly. Yet the more you run, the further it drifts. Doesn't that expose the trap? Desire is a mirror, not a finish line. You saw it because it's part of you. Chasing denies it. Stillness recognizes it. You've tried tactics, lines, hacks, strategies. None stuck because they weren't about identity. They were costumes. Costumes rip. Standards don't. Standards endure. Which have you built? The man you want to become isn't unlocked by pursuit. He's revealed by patience. When you're still, what belongs stays. What doesn't, leave. She didn't ignore you. She clarified your standard. He didn't disrespect you, he displayed his ceiling. Life didn't block you, it tested your alignment. Every tactic you tried proved desperation. Every pause you resisted proved weakness. But every standard you set proves power. Which proof are you collecting daily? Here's the brutal law. Chasing confirms lack. Aligning confirms possession. Stop asking if it's yours. Start asking whether you can hold still long enough. If he mocks your patience, you double down. If they question your calm, you smile. Stillness unnerves the restless. Selectivity intimidates the reckless. So what's the thesis? Desire isn't a summons to hunt. It's proof you're chosen. Your only task, align, remain still, and let orbit prove itself. This is why you fail. Not from weakness, but from hurry. You keep outrunning what's already yours. Stop running, start receiving. Simple, ruthless. The test isn't whether you can chase harder, it's whether you can sit in stillness, carry standards, and allow what's yours to finally arrive. You desire something, and immediately you assume it's far away. Wrong. Desire isn't proof of lack, it's proof of recognition. It's your compass, not your chains. Why chase what's already circling you? Why sprint after what's already in orbit? If it appeared in your awareness, alignment has already begun silently. Attraction doesn't show up because of desperate noise. Attraction follows alignment. Standards magnetize, stillness steadies, selective action locks it in, noise repels. Composure attracts, always has, always will. Picture this. He didn't notice the gym mirror. He noticed strangers noticing him. 30 quiet days of discipline rewired his presence before anyone else spoke. You've tried tactics, tricks, gimmicks, right? How's that worked out? Empty hands. Empty eyes. Because tactics without identity are just dust. Nothing sticks without foundation. The law is brutal. If he begs for validation, you withdraw. If you beg, they withdraw. Begging contaminates attraction. Standards disinfect it instantly. He didn't pretend confidence. He lived discipline. She didn't admire his noise. She felt his stillness. The world doesn't clap for chasing. It bends for alignment. Your doubt whispers, "But what if I'm not attractive yet?" That's scarcity talk. Alignment breeds attractiveness. Standards shape magnetism. Doubt is camouflage for neglect. So ask yourself, why keep acting like a beggar in a palace built for you? Why live as if you're disqualified from your own destiny? You're not chasing women, wealth, or status. You're chasing clarity. You're chasing discipline. You're chasing self-respect. When you align there, everything else simply orbits naturally. Remember, alignment isn't lazy. It's surgical. You cut distractions, enforce standards, guard silence. Every yes loses power without 10 ruthless no's. That's alignment. That's inevitability. You don't need louder words. You need stronger silence. You don't need constant chase. You need consistent standards. The law of already yours never fails. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is weapon. You think silence equals loss, but restraint is the sharpest action. Power is measured by pause, not chase. You're afraid, if I don't move, I'll lose her. Wrong. Stillness filters neediness. Noise exposes desperation. Presence sustains attraction longer than frantic scrambling ever could. Picture yourself as the sun. Planets revolve around your gravity. The sun never chases. It radiates, steady and undeniable. That's how real masculine presence works. When was the last time you paused before reacting? Not hesitated, paused. The pause is mastery. The pause breaks patterns. The pause saves dignity. He didn't text her back for 3 days. Not to punish, but to breathe. By the time he replied, his voice carried unshakable calm. Stillness isn't nothingness, it's selection. You choose silence instead of begging. You choose breath instead of panic. You choose posture instead of pursuit. That choice commands. If she pulls back, you don't plead. You pause. If she tests your frame, you don't collapse. You wait. Gravity doesn't apologize for orbits. He didn't beg for closeness. He built composure. She didn't admire noise. She trusted calm. Stillness doesn't repel women. It repels weakness, insecurity, and emotional leaks. Every frantic text, every rushed call, every desperate plan, those are withdrawals from your masculine bank account. Stillness, that's your investment. Interest grows in silence. Stillness makes her question not your words, but herself. Why isn't he scrambling? Why isn't he desperate? Questions are attraction's oxygen. Chasing suffocates instantly. Think about it. Do you respect the man who panics or the man who waits, unbothered? Respect magnetizes. Panic contaminates. Stillness sustains long-term leverage. Stillness isn't doing nothing. It's doing everything with precision. It's no wasted movements, no wasted words, no wasted validation. Every pause reinforces your unshakable frame. He didn't fear losing her. He feared losing himself. She didn't leave for silence. She left for weakness. Stillness is presence. Presence never feels absent. Imagine being hunted by your own reactions, texting back instantly, over-explaining, begging, exhausting. Now imagine being hunted by silence. That's terrifying. That's magnetic. That's stillness at work. So the next time you feel urgency scratching your chest, breathe. Don't chase. Don't explain. Don't justify. The man who pauses owns the moment. You don't chase storms. You become the weather. You don't run after validation. You embody standard. Stillness is your sun. Planets orbit. You remain. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is gravity. When you master restraint, you master magnetism. When you master magnetism, chasing dies forever. That's the Thoth principle. Tactics are cheap. Standards are priceless. Tricks might win minutes, but standards win lives. Every man eventually learns. Women test men. Men with standards pass effortlessly. You doubt yourself. What if she leaves if I don't bend? Then she wasn't yours. A woman who requires compromise of values isn't real. She didn't reject you. She revealed herself. She didn't abandon strength. She exposed her hunger for weakness. Standards don't lose women. They lose liabilities disguised as partners. The man with boundaries isn't cruel. He's rare. Why? Because boundaries terrify the insecure. Boundaries separate men who lead from men who kneel. He didn't argue about dinner. He simply said, "I don't eat there." Silence followed. That silence earned respect louder than any frantic debate ever could. If they disrespect, you disconnect. If they test, you stand. If they threaten to leave, you hold the door. Weakness negotiates standards, liberate completely. Standards are the magnet. Tricks are smoke. Tricks lure, then vanish. Standards hold, endure, demand respect. Tricks are theater. Standards are architecture. Which do you choose? He didn't fake confidence. He enforced standards. She didn't admire performance. She respected principles. Respect isn't bought with flowers. Respect is commanded through values lived daily. You think rejection hurts? Living without standards bleeds worse. Chasing without boundaries corrodes self-respect. Better to lose her than lose yourself. That's masculine arithmetic. Standards filter. You don't chase compatibility, you filter chaos. You don't seduce endlessly, you qualify ruthlessly. Standards don't beg. Standards watch. Standards discard what doesn't match gravity. When was the last time you told yourself no? When was the last time you told her no? Weak men never practice no. If he bends for attention, you withdraw. If he abandons boundaries, you remind yourself identity first. Standards protect your spine. Tricks evaporate with embarrassment eventually. Now the reframe block begins. Listen carefully. He didn't lose women. He lost weakness. He didn't scare her. He scared mediocrity. He didn't intimidate. He illuminated. He didn't fail. He filtered. He didn't repel. He revealed. He didn't lose women. He lost weakness. And in that loss, he gained freedom. Standards subtract liabilities until only quality remains orbiting steadily around you. He didn't scare her. He scared mediocrity. Women who fear standards crave control. Mediocrity wants compromise. Standards make mediocrity uncomfortable. Good. Your life isn't built for average. He didn't intimidate. He illuminated. Boundaries don't cast shadows. They shine light on truth. Weakness hides in darkness. Standards shine on it until it evaporates completely. He didn't fail. He filtered. Rejection isn't punishment. Rejection is refinement. Every no from her is a louder yes to yourself. Filtering is winning unapologetically. He didn't repel, he revealed. Attraction reveals masks. Standards rip them off. What's left? The real. Better one real connection than 1,000 masked illusions suffocating you. Stop thinking standards scare people. Standards attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. That's not loss, it's alignment. Alignment is power. Power isn't lonely. Without standards, you'll live exhausted, constantly auditioning, endlessly convincing, forever bending. With standards, you rest. Gravity doesn't audition, gravity commands. You command through immovable values, unapologetically. So ask yourself, are you tired of tactics failing? Or are you finally ready to build standards? Tricks entertain. Standards endure. Identity lasts eternally. Standards are oxygen. Tricks are perfume. Perfume fades. Oxygen sustains. Build your life on oxygen, not fragrance. Build your relationships on values, not tactics ever. He didn't argue for respect, he embodied it. He didn't plead for loyalty, he demanded it silently. Standards never shout. They echo. Echoes last. Tricks vanish. You say yes too often, and your words lose gravity. Every yes is currency spent. Every no is capital gain. Selectivity builds unshakable weight. A man who says no 90% of the time carries presence without effort. People feel his boundaries before he even speaks. Your doubt creeps in. Won't saying no isolate me? Won't people stop inviting me? Loneliness whispers louder than disrespect, but it costs less. Loneliness is cheaper than disrespect because loneliness ends when value appears. Disrespect compounds forever, destroying your identity. Which bill are you really willing to pay? You're afraid of empty weekends, empty chairs, silence. But that silence is your sharpening ground. Disrespect erodes, silence sculpts. Choose the harder wealth. You are not available. You are chosen. Repeat that until it breaks bone. Stop selling yourself like clearance. Become the store with velvet ropes. If everything in the world is scarce, why isn't your time? Why treat your hours like confetti when others hoard gold carefully? Picture this. He skipped 3 parties in a row. His phone didn't buzz for noise. The 4th invite wasn't casual. It was begged. Scarcity created weight. His absence wrote his reputation louder than his presence. Suddenly they weren't inviting him. They were campaigning for him. Big difference. If everyone gets you, no one values you. You already know this truth. Overexposure always dilutes impact. Exclusivity turns ordinary presence into magnetic presence. He didn't hide from the world. He filtered it. He didn't reject connection. He raised standards. Selectivity reframes solitude as sovereignty, not weakness. She didn't notice him at every bar. She noticed his absence. She didn't hear his noise. She felt his silence command her attention. Selectivity isn't arrogance, it's gravity. Gravity doesn't chase planets. It pulls them in. When you reduce access, you increase orbit. That's the unspoken law. Every yes you give is a withdrawal from your own power. Every no you hold is a deposit into your identity's account. Ask yourself, when was the last time you guarded your time like treasure? Or do you throw it around like loose change nobody respects? Scarcity makes diamonds valuable. Scarcity makes water priceless in deserts. Why pretend your time is infinite when your very heartbeat counts down your balance? You're not punishing people when you say no. You're protecting your standards, and protection is leadership. A man leads by directing access, not begging. Your yes becomes sacred when your no becomes standard. Without no, yes is cheap. With no, yes becomes ceremony. Value always comes from limits. He didn't get stronger by attending everything. He got stronger by skipping distractions. His calendar became lighter, but his presence became heavier. That's selectivity. Every yes costs attention, focus, energy. These are currencies of kings, not peasants. Are you giving them away for free or investing wisely? You think opportunities vanish when you decline. Wrong. The right ones multiply, waiting for alignment. Only the wrong ones dissolve, and they should. That's grace. What if people call you antisocial? What if they say you've changed? Good. Let them. Antisocial isn't failure, it's filtration. Changed isn't insult, it's upgrade. If he respects himself, she respects him. If he's selective, she invests harder. If he gives away everything, she feels nothing worth keeping. Notice this, the man everyone sees, nobody studies. The man rarely seen, everyone discusses. Scarcity fuels curiosity. Curiosity creates attraction. Attraction sustains gravity. Selectivity multiplies it. Your fear of rejection is misplaced. Fear the opposite, universal acceptance. When everyone gets you, no one needs you. Scarcity commands necessity. Demand comes from distance. He didn't vanish. He curated. He didn't disappear. He distilled. He filtered out noise until his life became signal. Selectivity turned clutter into clarity.
Why do you guard your passwords but not your evenings? Why protect your phone with codes while leaving your identity wide open for anyone's intrusion?
Every time you say no to nonsense, you say yes to discipline. Every no is a workout. Every yes without thought is weakness. Your yes isn't generosity, it's debt. Every weak yes ties you to obligations that drown you. Every no clears oxygen. No is rescue. They won't respect your time until you respect it first. Stop begging for approval. Standards self-advertise. Selectivity markets your worth louder than any introduction. He didn't win attention by chasing, he attracted by choosing. He didn't become magnetic by effort. He became magnetic by elimination. Absence writes louder than words. Understand this law. The more people think they can access you, the less they bother trying. Scarcity reverses that, effort rises. Energy returns, standards sustain. Selectivity is not withdrawal, it's calibration. You don't remove everyone, you remove everything unworthy. That's not loneliness, it's editing. And edited lives outperform cluttered ones every time. You want admiration? Stop distributing yourself like cheap flyers. Start becoming the rare invitation. Attention given freely is ignored. Attention restricted is worshipped. Simple economics. Gravity doesn't negotiate. Standards don't bargain. Why are you discounting yourself while demanding full-price respect? If scarcity makes gold priceless, what's your excuse for dilution? If he skips 3 distractions, his presence strengthens tenfold. If he endures silence, his voice carries further. Selectivity multiplies weight. Access reduced equals presence increased. Loneliness is cheaper than disrespect because loneliness teaches strength. Disrespect teaches weakness. Which lesson do you prefer shaping your life? Choose your tuition wisely. Reframe this now. Silence isn't rejection, it's refinement. Absence isn't neglect, it's negotiation. Distance isn't weakness, it's weapon. Scarcity isn't lack, it's leverage. Selectivity isn't punishment, it's prestige. You want women, respect, opportunities. Guard your no. Guard it like a crown. Every careless yes dethrones you. Every disciplined no cements your empire. Picture the man who attends every event. He's furniture, background noise. Picture the man who chooses carefully. He's myth, rumor, legend. That's scarcity's magic. Why do you chase endless presence when your absence already builds more stories than your words ever could? Absence whispers louder than repetition. That's truth. Scarcity transforms ordinary minutes into unforgettable memories. A single appearance becomes event. That's why celebrities don't oversaturate. Their rare presence builds hysteria. Apply the same principle. He didn't bend over for every request. He built spine through no. He didn't lose friends. He gained respect. Selectivity rewrote his social currency. Every time you fear missing out, remember, discipline misses nothing valuable. Only distraction disappears. Missing noise isn't loss, it's profit. FOMO dies when standards rise. Your legacy won't be measured by how much you attended, but by how much you guarded. Scarcity builds memory. Selectivity builds immortality. Guard wisely. Stop fearing empty space. Start fearing crowded disrespect. Space is where growth happens. Crowds dilute you. Be scarce. Be selective. That's how gravity becomes destiny. He didn't lose, he learned. She didn't reject, she redirected. He didn't fail, he found feedback. She didn't abandon, she exposed illusions. He reframed. Every rejection is redirection. Every door closed is corridor rerouted. The sting of no isn't death, it's guidance disguised. Reframe pain into navigation. You say humiliation. You whisper shame. But humiliation is ego's distortion. Truth is clarity. Their decision doesn't downgrade you. It upgrades your filter. She didn't cancel the date. She cleared space for someone else to be tested. Him. His patience sharpened, while hers revealed weakness. Reframing changed weight. The event never changes, only the lens changes. The same scene becomes tragedy or training depending on your frame. Frame dictates fate. Choose carefully. If they withhold, you upgrade. Simple rule. Scarcity of their attention isn't loss, it's selection. Their absence signals your next ascension. Receive it with composure. You complain, but it hurts. Of course it hurts. Growth requires discomfort, but hurt isn't harm. Hurt is proof you're being sculpted differently. He didn't collapse when overlooked. He recalibrated. She didn't ignore him. She revealed her ceiling. Reframes extract wisdom from wounds. That's maturity disguised as alchemy. What if rejection wasn't enemy but mirror? What if humiliation wasn't curse but compass? Would you still waste tears, or would you study lessons? Every failure recycles strength. Every embarrassment rebrands identity. You think you're being diminished, but you're being refined. Fire doesn't shrink metal, it purifies. Remember this. He didn't beg after she withdrew, he breathed differently. He didn't chase explanation, he chased discipline. Reframing transforms desperation into sovereignty, weakness into leverage. Stop asking why she left. Start asking what she revealed. She didn't erase value, she exposed incompatibility. That's clarity, not calamity. Hold perspective firmly. Rejection is reality's reset button. Without it, you drown in mediocrity. Every no trims fat. Every no edits noise. Reframes reveal essential narrative. He didn't lose the promotion. He gained preparation. She didn't doubt his worth. She disclosed her blindness. Reframes turned disappointment in documentation of resilience. Imagine this. A man stood outside. Date cancelled last minute. Instead of sulking, he trained. 1 month later, she saw transformation and regretted. He didn't. Your frame determines your fuel. Same wound, two paths, victimhood or vision. Victim says, "Why me?" Vision says, "Watch me." Which voice will dominate you? Rejection reroutes energy. You can chase what left, or you can cultivate what remains. The path is yours. Frame it with sovereignty, not scarcity. He didn't label himself unworthy. He labeled the situation unaligned. She didn't remove value, she revealed standards. The reframe turned collapse into construction. That's evolution. Stop fearing rejection. Start fearing acceptance without standards. Unlimited yes destroys more men than sharp no ever could. Reframes remind you scarcity signals. Preservation. The mirror of reframes doesn't lie. It reflects your interpretation. If you see humiliation, you'll shrink. If you see guidance, you'll grow. Perspective reigns. She didn't ghost. She graduated you to clarity. He didn't disrespect. He redirected. Stop dramatizing neutrality. Start decoding messages. Reframes upgrade every encounter's meaning instantly. Why do you assume silence equals insult? Why not assume silence equals filter? Silence may remove chaos, so you can finally hear yourself. Every setback is seminar. Every rejection is redirection. Every humiliation is invitation to kill ego. Reframes are the tuition. Pride costs more than clarity. He didn't wallow in self-pity. He walked into self-mastery. She didn't break his spirit. She built his standards. Reframes invert gravity. Pain becomes propulsion. Ask yourself, does humiliation exist without ego? Or is it ego's projection? If you detach identity, rejection shrinks into reflection. That's freedom discovered. Reframes aren't delusion. They're decision. You're not pretending failure feels good. You're practicing turning losses into leverage. Without reframes, you're prisoner. With reframes, you're strategist. He didn't surrender identity to circumstances. He seized meaning from them. She didn't kill his confidence. She carved his conviction. Reframes demand authority over narrative. Every time you whine, "Why me?" reframe asks, "Why not me?" Every challenge is evidence life considers you capable. Otherwise, it wouldn't assign difficulty. She didn't laugh at him, she unmasked herself. He didn't embarrass himself, he exposed limitations. Reframes prove perception shifts everything. Same facts, different futures. Rejection never reduces value. It reveals alignment. Gold rejected by fools remains gold. Stop interpreting misjudgment as measure. Reframe their blindness proves your brilliance. He didn't spiral when opportunities vanished. He sharpened when distractions disappeared. She didn't lower him, she leveled herself out. Reframes invert illusion into instruction. Microstory. She bailed before dinner, claiming emergency. He didn't collapse. He cooked alone, journaled clarity, lifted heavy. Later, she called back. His standards denied. You're not humiliated. You're highlighted. Every rejection places spotlight on weak ego, daring you to kill it. Humiliation isn't real, clarity is. Choose clarity ruthlessly. He didn't measure self-worth by acceptance. He measured standards by selectivity. She didn't wound him. She awakened him. Reframes transform identity from fragile to fortified. Reframes don't erase memory, they repurpose it. You'll still remember pain, but it becomes testimony. Same scar, new story. Same past, new power. Stop chasing explanations from others. Start creating interpretations for yourself. Control frame, control fate. Without reframes, you're puppet. With reframes, you're playwright. That's your crown. He didn't dread rejection anymore. He demanded it as filter. She didn't intimidate him. She instructed him. Reframes upgraded fear into fascination, pain into precision. Humiliation is illusion, because humiliation assumes their judgment outweighs your identity. False. Your reframe decides narrative, which holds more weight. Their mood or your mastery. Every time you say, "I failed," reframe, "I refined." Every time you say, "She ignored," reframe, "She revealed." Language shifts destiny's entire trajectory instantly. He didn't shrink when confronted. He stretched when challenged. She didn't wound pride. She welded resilience. Reframes rewrite every insult into infrastructure for greatness. Why waste time begging for closure? Why not create closure through reframes? They didn't steal respect. They showed where yours must grow. Ownership remains yours. Reframe cadence is discipline. Train it daily. Every interaction is laboratory. Every setback is syllabus. Master reframes, and you master mental alchemy itself. He didn't treat rejection as conclusion. He treated it as calibration. She didn't expose weakness. She expanded vision. Reframes reversed endings into beginnings instantly. The event never changes. The meaning always does. That's the essence of reframes, mastering interpretation. Reframe your reality, or reality frames you. Choose power deliberately. Stop craving painless lives. Pain isn't punishment, it's proof you're alive. Reframes don't deny pain, they redirect it into purpose. Power always hides in perspective. He didn't misinterpret silence as hatred, he reinterpreted silence as filter. She didn't diminish his worth, she disclosed her ceiling. Reframes protect dignity against distortion. If they withhold, you upgrade. If they disappear, you develop. If they betray, you build. Every removal is renewal. That's the hidden law reframes teach. Ask yourself, would you rather carry humiliation or harvest lessons? Would you rather guard ego or grow character? Your answers decide your destiny. He didn't collapse under rejection's weight. He converted rejection into resistance training. She didn't remove affection. She removed illusion. Reframes lifted burdens into blessings. Perspective changed. You're not humiliated. You're highlighted. You're not abandoned. You're advanced. Reframes don't lie. They liberate. The mirror reflects what you choose to see. Choose wisely, consistently. He didn't lose, he learned. She didn't ignore, she revealed. He didn't suffer, he sculpted. She didn't discard, she directed. He didn't fail, he forged. Withdrawal is not sulking, it is strength. You are not punishing anyone. You are proving mastery over your impulses, choosing distance with clarity. You fear they may forget, but think, if memory dissolves that fast, was connection ever real? Illusion crumbles easily. Truth resists time's erasing pressure. Absence carries weight when presence was real. Your silence becomes thunder if your voice once mattered. Your withdrawal sharpens echoes, louder than constant words. What do you risk more, being dismissed or being disrespected? One costs your pride, the other your dignity. You cannot afford the latter. Fire suffocates without oxygen. Relationships suffocate without effort. Starve a low-investment bond and watch how quickly it collapses into dust and memory. He deleted her number, not with anger but with clarity. She resurfaced months later. He didn't remember her. She remembered his absence vividly. If they retreat, you do not chase. If they withdraw attention, you withdraw energy. Equality is preserved when your silence equals their silence. Withdrawal is not weakness, it is resistance. By stepping back, you reclaim ground. By holding silence, you show strength. Words could never articulate. Why give endless access to someone rationing effort? Why invest loyalty where respect runs thin? Withdrawal enforces standards sharper than confrontations ever could. She didn't walk away because she hated you. She drifted because you allowed convenience. You didn't withdraw because you lost. You withdrew to win. Reframes transform meaning. He didn't vanish, he chose clarity. She didn't forget, she proved her disinterest. Withdrawal rewrites stories silently, but permanently, with authority. If he chases when ignored, he enslaves himself. If he withdraws when neglected, he preserves himself. Your decisions broadcast values louder than speeches. Stillness unsettles people addicted to chaos. Your absence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront their lack. You don't chase, you command reconsideration. Every man faces this moment. Do you beg for scraps, or do you walk away with silence? Silence dignifies, begging destroys respect. Absence is dangerous because it invites imagination. They will replay your stillness, filling gaps with possibilities. Withdrawal plants doubt stronger than desperate words ever could. Your absence becomes a ghost in their mind. They wonder, did he move on? Did he replace me? You speak louder without speaking. He didn't argue, he exited. He didn't beg, he withdrew. His story wasn't weakness, it was power disguised as indifference, precision masked as silence. Silence is not empty, it's calculated. Withdrawal is not cowardice, it's strategy. You leave not because you can't fight, but because your energy deserves worth. If your presence is undervalued, your absence will be overanalyzed. Withdrawal converts disrespect into curiosity, and curiosity into regret. That is how authority returns. A man without withdrawal is a servant of approval. A man with withdrawal is sovereign of himself. Which one will you embody daily? She didn't notice your words, but she noticed your silence. She didn't remember conversations, but she remembered your disappearance. Withdrawal etched permanence. Where presence failed, do you want to be remembered as disposable or unforgettable? Withdrawal ensures permanence, while constant begging ensures forgettability. Choose absence wisely. It immortalizes your dignity. If attention is weaponized against you, disarm it with indifference. If energy is withdrawn from you, match it with silence. Balance restores equilibrium. Withdrawal is your invisible crown. The man who can step away owns his value. The man who stays needy surrenders his throne. You worry they may forget you, but forgetting is their confession. You don't need them to remember, you need yourself never to forget. Fire fades when smothered. Interest fades when starved. Stop feeding the flames of disrespects. Let them suffocate, and your dignity will rise untouched, unconquered, undeniable. He deleted her number without hesitation. Not rage, not revenge, clarity. Months later, she returned with questions. He returned with silence. That contrast crushed her. Withdrawal doesn't close doors. It forces others to knock. It doesn't end chapters. It rewrites them. Your absence reframes the narrative better than words. If she disappears without explanation, you disappear with composure. If he ignores your effort, you ignore his absence. Standards must balance, or chaos grows. Stillness is feared, because it cannot be manipulated. You become untouchable when you no longer bite at bait. Withdrawal protects you from being played. You aren't withholding to punish. You are withdrawing to preserve. Distinguish revenge from clarity. The former poisons, the latter purifies. Choose withdrawal as the cleaner path. Ask yourself, is clinging strength, or is walking away stronger? Which is remembered longer, your presence or your absence? Let withdrawal answer without speaking. He didn't hesitate, he deleted. He didn't waver, he withdrew. His power was not in words, but in stillness, louder than argument. Withdrawal shocks entitlement. Those accustomed to your presence learn to feel its absence. When they expect pursuit, silence breaks them. Your absence shatters their script. Absence teaches respect faster than lectures. You don't demand recognition, you create its necessity. Withdrawal forces awareness that constant presence could never ignite. The strongest move is not proving your worth. It's stepping back and letting them feel life without you. That silence judges louder than arguments. Your silence is not emptiness, it is evidence. Your absence is not avoidance, it is strategy. Withdrawal is not weakness, it is the loudest declaration possible. Reframe your fear. It's not what if they forget, it's what if I forget myself by chasing. That fear should terrify you more. He didn't argue about neglect. He disappeared with dignity. She didn't understand respect until absence taught her. Withdrawal educates in ways words could never teach. If respect leaves the room, you follow it out. If dignity disappears, you disappear too. Never bargain with neglect. Withdrawal is final currency. Presence is common, absence is rare. Anyone can show up. Few can step back. Your withdrawal creates scarcity, and scarcity multiplies perceived value. They didn't value your presence, but they will worship your absence. They didn't care when you stayed, but they will crave when you're gone. Each withdrawal is a filter. Those who return, return with respect. Those who don't, confirm irrelevance. Silence separates illusions from truths, noise from signals. Ask yourself, do you want connection or do you want clarity? Withdrawal brings clarity every time. If they crumble in absence, the bond was fake. The rule is simple. If they withdraw attention, you withdraw energy. You never fight imbalance. You mirror it and reclaim equilibrium through dignified silence. Silence is a weapon, not a weakness. When you withhold words, you magnify their weight. Every pause becomes pressure. Every silence becomes authority. They ask, won't silence look weak? No. Talking to fill space is weakness. Strength is restraint. Power is control. Silence announces composure louder than words. He didn't argue, he ended the argument. He didn't add noise, he removed fuel. Reframes like these turn silence into dominance every time. When was the last time your silence said more than your speech? Think carefully, because you already know moments where stillness outweighed explanation. He sat across the table, sipping water. Her rant echoed. His calm crushed louder than shouting. His silence broke her certainty without confrontation. If they escalate, you quiet down. If they raise their voice, you lower yours. Control is not shouting louder. It's refusing their bait. You're not ignoring, you're measuring. Silence shows you're not desperate to reply instantly. You observe, you wait, you decide when words deserve to be released. Arguments feed on energy. Remove energy, and conflict collapses. Silence is not surrender, it's starvation. You starve their chaos until they suffocate under their own noise. Why should you battle every accusation? Why must you justify every thought? Silence saves your dignity, while arguments waste it. Restraint preserves your crown. She didn't crumble because he shouted. She crumbled because he stayed quiet. His stillness mirrored her chaos. Silence was the mirror she couldn't escape. Silence makes words heavier. Speak less, and each syllable lands harder. Speak constantly, and you dilute impact. Control frequency, and you control power. If he fills every silence with nervous chatter, he looks weak. If you command silence comfortably, you look unshakable. Stillness builds authority instantly. She didn't remember his words. She remembered his pause. She didn't recall his points. She recalled his silence. Stillness engraved itself deeper than language. If silence intimidates you, they already own you. If silence empowers you, you already own yourself. Learn to sit in stillness without fear. Your silence is not emptiness, it's emphasis. Every withheld word signals that your voice isn't cheap. You remind them to hear you is a privilege. The man who cannot stay quiet is addicted to approval. The man who commands silence is addicted to nothing. Which addiction defines you? Do you realize how uncomfortable most people get in silence? They squirm, they rush, they reveal weakness. Your calm exposes their lack of control. He didn't defend his ego, he displayed restraint. He didn't raise his volume, he raised his standards. That's the contrast. Silence engraves into memory. Silence ends arguments faster than explanations. Talking invites counterattack. Stillness closes the door. You're not refusing communication, you're refusing chaos. Your silence is your shield. A pause before speaking makes people lean in. A pause after speaking makes people reflect. Pauses turn speech into music. Silence is rhythm. If she tests with drama, you test with silence. If he tries to provoke, you prove your strength. Silence denies validation. Validation starves. You don't need to prove everything. You don't need to answer everything. Silence says, I know my worth. Silence teaches them patience. Silence commands. She didn't respect his explanations, but she respected his silence. He didn't persuade her logically, but he persuaded her with stillness. Silence accomplished what words failed. When you talk less, every statement becomes quotable. People repeat silence-backed words. No one remembers filler. Authority grows when speech becomes rare and intentional. Ask yourself, do you want to be heard or do you want to be respected? Silence earns respect first. Words follow afterward. Silence creates tension. Tension creates curiosity. Curiosity creates control. Master silence, and you master attention. Attention is the first step to authority. Stillness captures everything. He didn't lash back. He leaned back. He didn't answer instantly. He paused. Silence turned his restraint into intimidation. Stillness amplified his dominance without effort. Arguments collapse under silence because silence offers no friction. You can't wrestle with stillness. That's why silence unnerves. It refuses the fuel conflict needs to breathe. You may think silence avoids resolution. Wrong. Silence is resolution. By not engaging, you show priorities: peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, dignity over drama. When noise rises, silence carves space. When accusations pile, silence clears air. You don't need endless explanations. Your stillness provides an answer stronger than justification. If they misinterpret your silence, let them. Silence filters who respects you enough to ask, and who assumes. Silence separates people worth your time. She didn't hear a rebuttal, but she heard resolve. He didn't respond immediately, but he responded perfectly. Silence crafted an ending sharper than confrontation. Your silence is not passive, it's active. You're not avoiding, you're controlling. Every pause is strategy. Every silence is dominance. Every quiet moment is authority. Why argue endlessly when silence ends instantly? Why fight battles where no one wins? Silence leaves you untouched. Stillness makes you unshakable. Choose silence. He didn't fear silence, he lived in it. She didn't understand silence, she drowned in it. The one who embraces silence always controls the room. Tricks collapse. Standards scale. Every tactic fades once exposed. Every gimmick dies once repeated. But standards, your code, stand forever. Tricks impress quickly. Standards command permanently. You ask, how long until results? Results follow roots, not speed. A tree grows down before it grows up. Roots precede branches. Are you building roots or chasing branches? Roots take time, but weather storms. Branches without roots snap. Depth beats speed. Foundations beat appearances every time. He didn't flex the car keys. He flexed restraint when he parked far away and walked. Standards made him impressive. Silence made him memorable. If they want flash, you want substance. If they chase spectacle, you chase depth. Because substance sustains. Standards attract loyalty. Flash only distracts briefly. She didn't notice the rented car. She noticed his calm. She didn't care about the logo. She cared about his presence. Standards won. Tricks are borrowed. Standards are built. Tricks mimic others. Standards reveal identity. Which lasts longer, the performance of a showman or the backbone of a king? If he needs tricks to impress, he collapses once revealed. If you hold standards, you attract naturally. Authenticity always outlives manipulation. Tricks expose desperation. Every man can buy props. Not every man can hold principles. Principles cost more than money. They demand discipline, patience, and unshakable character. Do you realize how fragile tricks are? They crumble under pressure, vanish under scrutiny, and demand constant upkeep. Standards, once set, reinforce themselves endlessly. He didn't buy attention. He earned respect. He didn't shout for validation. He lived with restraint. Standards became his language. Discipline became his magnet. The man chasing quick validation burns fast and dies forgotten. The man rooted in standards glows steady, unshakable, undeniable. Which fire are you? Flashy men attract attention. Principled men attract devotion. Attention fades, devotion stays. Which are you building, a crowd that leaves or a circle that stays? When standards shape you, attraction stops being effort. It becomes consequence. Women don't follow tricks, they follow presence. Presence comes from principles. Principles make kings. She didn't admire what he flashed. She admired what he withheld. He didn't chase applause, he demanded silence. Restraint was louder than performance. If you doubt standards, look at trees. They grow in silence, hidden roots unseen. Yet storms bend everything except them. Standards are your roots. The game isn't who shines brightest for a moment, it's who stands tallest forever. Tricks collapse tomorrow. Standards scale forever. Your choice defines your legacy. So stop searching for magic lines, gimmicks, or shortcuts. They cheapen you. Build discipline, values, restraint. That's the attraction no trick can replicate. Unfakeable gravity. Do you want fleeting validation or lasting respect? Do you want tricks that break or standards that scale? Decide wisely. The answer shapes everything. He didn't chase the first spark. He guarded the flame until it became a fire. He didn't grab scraps. He demanded the table. He didn't jump at noise. He listened for signal. He didn't sprint empty roads. He walked paths with weight. He didn't beg for timing. He became timing itself. Patience isn't passivity. It's pressure held until the world bends. You wait not because you're weak, but because you're worth what's real. When everything screams now, the strong man whispers, not yet. Why rush into what isn't ready? Fast gains collapse. Deep roots endure storms. Waiting is not wasting, it's refining. If timing tests you, you sharpen. If opportunities slip, you don't shrink. You expand silently. He didn't grab attention by tricks. He earned respect by stillness. He didn't prove with flash. He proved with standards. She didn't lure with drama. She secured with consistency. The weak ask, how long until results? The strong know results follow roots, not speed. Every delay is a filter. Every pause purifies desire. A tree doesn't grow up first. It grows down. Roots before branches. Foundation before display. Depth before height. That's not punishment. That's preparation.
He didn't flex car keys. He flexed restraint, parking far away and walking. He didn't prove wealth. He proved discipline. What are you proving?
If he waited for his turn, you can wait for yours. If he held out, you hold firm. Nothing worth keeping rushes. He didn't jump at the first offer. He let 3 slip. The 4th doubled his worth. Timing didn't steal from him, it rewarded him. If she wants flash, you want substance. If they want speed, you want stability. If timing demands patience, You sharpen instead of scatter. Patience is a test, not a trap. It's proof you won't crack under delay. You either hold your standard or expose your weakness. Resist the panic of scarcity. Real abundance punishes the desperate. Opportunities multiply for the man who doesn't chase. They vanish for the man who begs. He didn't measure success by hours. He measured it by readiness. She didn't confuse waiting with losing. She knew waiting meant gaining strength. The strong don't fear empty time. They use it to forge identity. You're not losing minutes. You're layering muscle, resilience, and respect into your frame. If he can wait through hunger, you can wait through doubt. Desire without discipline destroys. Desire with patience creates permanence. Which side are you on? The question isn't what if I wait too long. The question is, what will collapse if I rush? Speed seduces, stillness sustains. Every delay is a mirror. Are you grounded or are you frantic? Your response proves whether you're ready for the weight you're asking to carry. He didn't panic when doors closed. He trusted the right one would open. He didn't force entry. He built keys through consistency. That's patience embodied. Do you want a flame that burns fast and dies, or a fire that warms for decades? Your patience decides. Test or trap? Choice. The test of patience isn't waiting, it's waiting without breaking identity. The world isn't stalling you, it's shaping you. Waiting refines, chasing wastes. Stand still, sharpen, endure. He didn't lose her. He lost illusion. He didn't miss his chance. He met his standard. She didn't ignore him. She exposed herself. They didn't reject him. They revealed truth. He didn't shrink. He sharpened. Losing illusion means gaining clarity. What feels like loss is freedom, the space to rebuild without carrying dead weight that drags you downward. Meeting your standard isn't failure, it's proof you won't bend cheap. Missing the chance means you refuse to discount yourself. That's strength, not weakness. When she exposed herself, she revealed her priorities, not your flaws. Stillness showed truth. Selectivity protected you. Her silence wasn't punishment, it was revelation. Rejection isn't a verdict against you, it's reality correcting you. They revealed their limits, not yours. Standards guard you from mistaking noise for signal. Sharpening means you grow harder under pressure. You don't collapse, you condense. Every loss is friction. Every friction is refinement. You become unbreakable through stillness. What's stronger, chasing acceptance or holding standards? Every time you refuse to fold, you rise. Every silence, every delay proves you're not desperate, you're deliberate. The illusion of loss tricks men into panic. Reality, you cleared space for someone aligned. Standards, remove weakness disguised as opportunity. That's gain. When you hold your line, you feel lonely temporarily. But loneliness is lighter than living chained to illusions. Standards guarantee future strength, not present distraction. He didn't crumble when she left. He rebuilt. He didn't mourn a fantasy, he honored reality. You don't lose women, you lose lies. Every missed chance strengthens patience. The weak sprint toward shortcuts, the strong walk toward legacy. Which do you want? A quick thrill or lasting respect? Her silence isn't disrespect, it's exposure. She displayed priorities, not your lack. That's a filter, not a wound. Why beg noise when truth saves you? If they turned you away, they cleared your path. Every no saves you from wasting time. Truth is cruel, but merciful. Embrace revelation. Shrinking means surrender. Sharpening means survival. When pressure hits, weak men break, strong men shape. You're not smaller, you're sharper. Pressure is sculpting you silently. He didn't chase validation, he demanded respect. He didn't grab quick comfort, he waited for alignment. You don't lower standards, you sharpen them. That's identity, not ego. The illusion said you lost her. Reality says you lost distraction. What's heavier, illusion or truth? Which serves you longer, comfort or clarity? Choose clarity. Standards don't scare the right person, they filter the wrong. Every silence, every delay is proof your selectivity works. Weak men chase, strong men wait. He didn't mourn lost time, he invested it differently. He didn't regret patience, he weaponized it. You don't fall behind, you build beneath. That's leverage. Every rejection teaches your worth. Every silence teaches your strength. Every loss reminds you that standards protect, stillness reveals, and selectivity secures what truly matters. Behaviors never equal people. A toxic action marks the bond unfit, not the person worthless. Judge choices, not existence. Keep clarity sharp, never cruel. Consent is non-negotiable. Influence isn't coercion. You don't manipulate, you model. If respect dies, standards collapse. Respect first, standards second. Power without boundaries becomes abuse. Your strength must uplift, not dominate. If he ignores consent, you enforce distance. If she crosses boundaries, you enforce standards. Respect defines leadership, not control. For mental health, legal or financial struggles, professionals exist. You're not weaker for asking, you're wiser for seeking guidance. Humility protects pride, wisdom sustains strength.